Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is another episode on Talk Architecture Podcast with your host, Naziaty Mohd Yaacob. And today's topic is about being instinctive. Instinctive is something that you do not need to have conscious reasoning when you are doing something. It just comes natural and from experience or from your gut feelings, you just know what is right. Why I am bringing up this topic with regard to architectural design and practice is based on a conversation that I had with someone who is a very experienced architect who works on the site a lot, who I want to have a bit of chat with because working at that level and in a company that is, shall we say, a big company in my country and who pride themselves as a company that has good design and well run practice. So, with a lot of award winning projects and so on. So, the quality that is needed in terms of being the associate or the partner or the director in the company, which oversee the results or which make sure that the design from conception is being realized right until it is built is a big plus for this company. And you would want workers or staff or designers that are just know what to do, just have the common sense and just know instinctively what to do when challenge or when coming across a problem on site, at the site where the building is about to be built, and be able to interpret the drawings that come out of the design office and be able to justify or reason out the drawings and working out something that is not complete or the drawings are not clear or something like that with the other consultants and the contractors at site. So often these people who are working on at the site, resident architect or project architect and so on, they often are senior members or people who are instinctively know what they need to resolve when the problems occur. So I ask questions like, what about in school? Can you teach people about these things in school? So we didn't really get around to that because we need that coffee moment. We need that discussion, a long, in-depth discussion to find out more about this. But I'm opening up this question to those listeners out there that keep listening to the podcast, because that will be something that I want to deal with. I want to understand further about the role of being instinctive in a designer and where does it come from? Can it come from the school? So in school, the senior architect I talked to said that this is where you just let loose. You just be, let loose, meaning able to explore things, able to do things that are not encumbered or able to experiment, able to find out things that you're curious about at that age in school. So then you have being instinctive. And I like to use something that I have read with regard to strikers or football players who are scoring goals and who outdid themselves and score many goals or breaking records of scoring the most number of goals in the Premier League. And when I was watching a video or listening to the discussion or interview that they had with others, he mentioned that the visualization or visioning of the goal, or how they would kick the ball and how the ball would most probably get into the goal over and over in their mind, and practicing it over and over on the field, training, or in competition itself, is you got to be precise in competition, of course. You got to do the job during the match. But in training, one visualize over and over again and get it right over and over again. So practice makes perfect. So when we talk about architecture practice, going over and over again with the drawing or understanding about some formulas or some massaging of the plan, developing the plan and section and everything, the drawings, and practicality of it, the common sense of it, how it comes to fruition when it is built. One sees both ends when designing and when drawing, and also at the site. This reading of it over and over again, of understanding, intuitively understanding what comes before and after in terms of assembly of the different building elements, putting together, integrated together, and coming up with a good design, is something that comes out of practice, and that intuitively one would acquire this without conscious reasoning. It is something that one has at one's fingertip in terms of what is a designer. When we compare a designer with a football player, striker, what is a designer? It has to do with the ability to translate into built from the drawings. Yeah, the drawings are good enough or interpreted well enough. So in the process of contract implementation at site, when you receive drawings from the office, and I'm reading what the senior architect's trying to tell me, that receiving those plans and drawings and then being on site and giving instruction or clarifying what is to be done, readjusting the plans and reprinting it and getting it right, because it's based on experience, based on the frequent encounters or understanding of what goes, what one has to do to make it work. Really, is that ability, that skill comes with the experience. Now, it can take a long time or it can take a short time, depending on the person. Is it to do with talent or is it to do with hard work? Is being instinctive, intuitive, is that an indication of the talent and skill that a person has? So why would one be opposite to being intuitive, which is someone who has to think a lot before resolving the thing? go over again every single time? Is it confidence that allows one to be much more intuitive and able to overcome the challenge at the moment, in the moment? So these are some of the questions that one would like to ask. If one is a much more intuitive person and being trained to be intuitive earlier on, will one be intuitive when one works in the office? Is the skill to be intuitive a natural thing that just need to happen, or is it something one has to learn to be intuitive? Now, some of these questions, like, I would like to relate to that football player talking about how he envisioned the thing again and again, and visualizing and visioning something to go over in the mind over and over again. What he did was he want to win. He want to be highly skilled, knowing how to kick the ball at what, and all his emotions are intact as well at that time. He's cool as a cucumber and he's able to strike the ball sweetly, and there are other factors involved, whether how close the defender is, shall we say, the distance the ball is from the goal and what situation. Maybe at that time the crowd is vociferous, or the crowd is shall we say quiet, or the crowd is vocal, urging him on. Maybe that's other factors that could make him score the goal, apart from him being visualizing it to get into the goal when he does his practice. So what is that to do with architecture design? Now, obviously the skill is different. Why I'm trying to see and relate this to a football player when you are intuitive and solving problems, it's that there's that visualizing part. I mean, what's the difference between visualizing getting the ball into the goal and visualizing architecture? How things are put together. There are processes. How you hit the ball. There are processes. How you understand the material, how you know which comes first and what comes later, and how you construct it, how you detail it. In football, so there is details. At what part of the feet or the boot shall strike at what part of the ball, and how that would make a strike that will determine that weight of the ball floating in or being struck in a way that will make the ball trajectory, or the way it is being hit, or the outcome of being hit, to be able to spin in a way that it could go beyond, above people's heads and get into the goal. So these are details, such as architecture is a detail as well. The not nuances, what comes together, the weather, if it's an external element, and how it would be affected by rain and sun and expansion issues, and how if it's inside, it will be affected by usage and impact from maybe the floor. It would be people's feet and loads and stuff like that. Those what are the conditions that would make the details of the architecture to withstand or not, or to be able to, the use of the right material would make the design look better or poor, or the maintenance that thereafter that needed to be done. So all these details come together from being intuitive about what is a design, what is structure, what is services, what are the other factors, environmental design, that is needed to be understood when you put architecture together. Visualization and the visioning of the product or the end result is crucial. The execution of what you want to have a winning goal or a winning outcome is what is similar with football and architecture. So that's just a commentary for 17 minutes, and thank you for listening. Have a good day.